As we transition out of the last pandemic, we're entering a new pandemic of addiction that might be the most pervasive addiction in human history. The scary part is the world has yet to even acknowledge that this addiction exists, despite it being all around us and fueling our current mental health crisis. But today, we turn the tide on this new addiction. What if I were to tell you that in 2007 a new addictive drug came out and it took the world by storm? In less than 15 years, over half of the world's population was using this drug daily. It was causing a rise in depression, anxiety, and suicide in all age ranges, but especially in young girls, and it was accounting for 3,000 traffic deaths per year in the United States from impaired driving. If this were happening, wouldn't there be an outrage? Wouldn't the government and society as a whole be trying to fix this? Wouldn't we be drafting class action lawsuits and demanding justice? Well, check your pockets, because I'm guessing you have this drug on you right now, and it's your smartphone. When you think about addiction, what comes to mind? Substances like drugs and alcohol, maybe sex, gambling. Do you think about computer code, apps, algorithms? As a child and adolescent psychiatry fellow, I am here to advocate for my patients, who are mostly kids aged 5 to 19, who I am seeing become addicted to their phones en masse. And the purpose of this talk is to shift your perception of addiction, because we must start viewing smartphones, technology, and social media in the context of addiction if we want to reverse our current mental health crisis. What we know about addictions neurologically is that all addictive things, including your smartphone, increase dopamine in your brain at the levels of the tegmental, ventral tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens. Dopamine makes you feel good, satisfied, but also increases your drive. That drive is important because it's the drive that makes you do things over and over again. For example, in caveman times, if you were to find a new food source that helped you survive, say a big bush of wild blueberries, your brain would release a ton of dopamine to make you feel good about your find and increase that drive to do it again. In today's world, there are endless apps that are trying to trick your brain into releasing dopamine without being fundamentally good for you. App developers have found a way to hack our reward and addiction pathway, and they did it without a substance. They did it with computer code. Addiction in 2022 has become nothing more than zeros and ones. Typically, we define addiction by these signs. Play along and see how many you have, like hazardous use, using while driving or when it's dangerous, impaired social functioning, like isolating yourself or giving up on your social roles, having withdrawal from your phone, cravings for your phone, increased tolerance, like your screen time creeping up, trying to cut down on your use and being unable to, spending more time using than you initially anticipated, and giving up your hobbies and interests to use. How many of you have that? Oh crap, that's me feeling. And if you don't see it in yourself, how many people around you do you see these signs in? So if we're seeing everyone become addicted to their phone, you'd think that the mental health community would be doing something about this, right? But this addiction came on so fast that academia has yet to catch up. And as of now, none of the top mental health associations in the world have even recognized this as a real diagnosis. The DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Psychiatry's Bible, has no official diagnosis for phone addiction. The ICD-10 and 11, the International Billing and Coding System, we're using there. No, there is a code for getting sucked up into a jet engine.
In the signs and the words on the prophets are written on the subway.
Enough of that shit. So, I guess you can kind of figure out what it's about today. Today's message is the message we all need and none of us really want, because when we are faced with our own bad habits, it kind of never ends well, So yeah, today we are talking about the smartphone. There we go. This thing right here. Mine is a little cracked, as you can see. It got some big cracks in it. Well, you can't really see, but it cracked all over the screen because I have a very low relationship with my smartphone. I place it everywhere. I lay it outside, and I don't think it likes me very much. But I used to dislike this. I'm starting to like it. I had a long period of time where it was very useful to me. Now I want to lay it off again, and I'm doing that bit by bit. But we have to understand that I'm just going to correct you a little here. So, there we go. You have to understand that it's just a tool, really. Just like I've been talking about, I talked about AI before, it's just a tool. It's really, the evil intention comes from the use of it, and of course, the people who implement it in this world don't have legitimate reasons for that. It's basically profit and control to them. That's what it is. And to us, it's become our preferred tool of comfort these days, because it really connects everything you need in life in one little device. That's why it's become the screen prompter of the, well, I don't know, for as long as we can remember. Basically, you have everything right by your hand, and that's the beauty and the downfall of it. Is the good and bad and the ugly connected right in the same spot. It if you use it right, it has a lot of good things, if you use the notes in it, you can make notes. You don't have to walk around with a notepad. It's very convenient. And you don't have to walk around with a calculator either if you have trouble calculating, and you don't have to have a map in your pocket. It also has that. It's very, very smart, Yeah, so you would think, right? But here's the thing. Your brain is a wonderful tool that can do amazing stuff, like learning the whole world by heart. Your brain, if you have enough time to travel the world, your brain will actually know the whole world like it was back of its own pocket. But if you use this one to do it, you won't, because your brain will say, well, I don't need it. I just asked the phone. And it's like that with everything you do in life. It's just a tool that should be pulled out in the right spots. It's not something you should implement that much in your life that it's taken over certain duties of your brain. And that's the danger of it. Of course, there's also the dopamine danger to talk about, but mostly I'm talking about cognitive brain function, like memory, like that sense of direction, like balance. I can show you a lot of people falling around, but we have the internet for that. You just search and you shall receive. There's a lot of stupid shit that's happening out there. People are dying because they're walking with this in hand. I mean, dying. Not just falling in a hole, but fall down on tracks and get run over by a train. Shit like that happens probably every day, and yet we do nothing about it. It's just, well, that's stupid people. Well, give it another 10 years. Look how far we come. This is an implication of the zeros, really. I know we had GSM before that, but this smart thing is within the last 25 years. And especially the last 10 years, everything just excelled. And imagine where we will be in 10 years. In 10 years, this does not exist. That's a basic fact. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a prophet of the future. In 10 years, this will not exist at all. It will be wearables. It will be implementations. It will be on light posts. It will be on your bus stop. It will be everywhere. You no longer need this. You will be able to interact with the internet every corner you go to. That is the future. So why am I against it if it goes away? Because what it does to people is it's going to take over that cognitive side of everybody, and you will never get that back unless you do it now. In 10 years, it will be too late. Your mind is now recertain on everything being handed to you, and yeah, that's basically it. So, of course, I thought along about this, and I was looking through Buzz's songs, and so I did the most sensible thing that somebody could do. I said, I found out in correlation with Buzz that the only sensible thing to do is to make a song about it. And I think the moment is right now, and we both agree. And we've seen other people out there in the community also talking about this weaponized tech that's going around. So it was the perfect time to do that. So yeah, me and Buzz made a song. For those who already seen it on Buzzagino and the Bear, there's no surprises there. But of course, I'm going to play it right here. Just for those who are here for that. Where did I put it? Is it this one? There we go. Yep. So I'll play this for you. And if there's nobody here, I will go to bed early because I had a really rough weekend. Don't want to say too much about it, but I'll go through it real quick. I was at an event in Sweden yesterday. We had our first event in Sweden, big Unite event, and I was working security, and it didn't go as planned. Let's just say it like that. And the short story is a bunch of local hooligans showed up after the fight and used this as an excuse to get an outlet for their rage, and it ended up badly. Nobody got hurt though, but 12 people got arrested. Yeah, that's basically it. It was it ended up good, but it was a bad day for the organization. So it is a setback. We wanted to move the business into Sweden, and yeah, a bad day to do that. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna play this little thing that Buzz and I made, and it's called Weponized Tech, and we're kind of proud of it. So enjoy. That didn't go as planned either, so we're gonna do it again.
I see you in the darkness, sadly weeping all alone. But you won't turn off this madness, staring blankly at your phone. It is your worst addiction, something that you freely choose, that causes your inaction, leading down a path of blues. You freak, you panic, you'd end up manic without your dog and bone. You couldn't last a single day without your mobile phone. Your eyes are getting strained, your patience wearing thin. So much to understand, but you don't know where to begin. So many different rabbit holes, all just a click away. You wanna quit, but you're back at it each and every day. You freak, you panic, you'd end up manic without your dog and bone. You couldn't last a single day without your mobile phone. You panic, you'd end up manic without your dog and bone. You couldn't last a single day without your mobile phone. You cannot fight your feelings, you wanna see the proof, but you were being blindsided by distractions, not the truth. And all the while the little tool is causing you real harm. You can't detach and there's no patch. It'd be like losing an arm. You freak, you panic, you'd end up manic without your dog and bone. You couldn't last a single day without your mobile phone. And even though you'll miss it badly, you may have to decide to not let this weapon slowly kill you. Choose love and gain some self-pride. And even though you'll miss it badly, you may have to decide to not let this weapon slowly kill you. Choose love and gain some self-pride.
I was muted. Yeah, it's one of those songs that you either love or you hate. And no matter what, mission accomplished, you know. So what is it that we're trying to do with this, you know? Well, create awareness, because it does seem like it has been socially accepted to be a moron walking around with your dog and bone in your hand. You know, it bothers me. It has for a long time. If you follow me, you know how much I hate this. It's been on my mind ever since I get let go of the 2020 thing. The mobile phone has been my next big target, and yet again, like everything else, you can't fight it really, you know, because even though you get people to see the addiction and the bad habit of it, no matter what you do, you're up against the $1 billion propaganda machine. And not only that, in this case, it's also the addiction of comfort and pleasure and entertainment. So that's a battle we can't fight. But if we can create some awareness to it, you know, at least you have the chance to make a good decision in life. I'm not saying you should forget about the smartphone. I'm saying you should be aware of every time you take it out of your pocket. That's all it takes, really. Do I really need a map right now, or can I remember the way? You know, shouldn't I give it a shot? Just try and walk there without bring up Google Maps. You know, gobble maps. You know, Shouldn't I just try to remember shit instead? And yeah, if you used it for a long time, your short-term memory is pretty bad. Well, even your long-term memory too. But mostly your short-term memory will just, well, switch off because it doesn't need to remember. It doesn't need to remember how you got there because your phone's going to tell you how you got back, how you're going to get back. And the awareness is gone in everyday life when I see it out there. I'm not judging anybody that's listening back to this because right now it's just me and Buzz and Annette, like always. So, yeah, this is not a message I expect to everybody to receive well. Those who know knows, you know. Those who don't know think I'm an idiot. So, yeah, that's that. But nevertheless, it's important to say, not only for you to hear, but also for me to say it. You know, it is something I bury deep inside of me. The smartphone hell, as I call it, because it is a little cyclist. You know that we all fall into the trap one point or another. You know, if you're already out, fine. You know, if you're on your way out, perfect. But if you're not even trying, then you're hurting yourself. Hey there, Cascades. Still on my Halloween cup. Not much, not much, not much is happening. Yeah, well, and there is a lot is happening, but nothing worth mentioning right now. But today I was just talking about the cell phone and how badly we use it. And yeah, I was gonna make a show about balance today, but because me and Boss took this direction during the week, I thought it was in order to just continue that. We're talking about weaponized tech, and it's of course not just the phones; it's also any other media. It's even this PC that I'm sitting in front. You know, even the mic, everything. You know, is comfort. It's on a pretty little stick, so I don't have to lean forward and shit. It's very convenient. Everything is convenient these days. I have the camera on the top of the screen. I wish I could show you, but it's very convenient, you know. And that's the danger. It's not really the technology. It's the comfort we get from using the technology because we let it consume us. That's the real addiction. It's not the technology that's addicting, you know. It's the pleasure, the dopamine we get from using it, from, you know, that's what makes us addicted to it. And it's important to understand that the addiction starts in your own head. It's a chemical release that gives your brain pleasure, you know, and whatever you do to do that is an addiction. If you do it on daily basis and you do it too much, if you eat sugar, that happens. If you drink coffee, that happens. But I cut a lot of back in this life, so I'm allowed to have coffee. Even the car, you know, the car has been the weaponized tech these days. See how much information your car gives you, so you don't have to think no more. You sit in your car and say, "Oh, fasten your seatbelt, turn on the light, remember your keys." You know, that's your car enhancing this dopamine fix, this comfort fix, even the chair adjustable, adjusting steer wheel. Now you don't even have to change lane. The car can change lanes. Modern car can change lanes for you. You have little things on the side mirrors that, tells you there's something out there. You're basically letting your cognitive, everything you use your brain for, hand that over to a machine because it's comfortable, because it's easy. And that's the danger. And as I said, mobile phones, cars, what else? We have information stands. When you go to a shopping mall, I know the most of them are shut down in the United States, but here they're growing like weed, and even at the shopping malls, you have comfort. We have robots, AI robots driving around in between people. It has sensors so it doesn't bump into anybody, but it's a robot going around, and you can press the screen and you can get information. It's everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, you're basically having interactions with your car. How many of you can say, well, I don't talk to my car? Well, have you ever sat in your car and said, when it does the seatbelt thing, you say, oh my God, shut the fuck up? I do that. I hate it. If there's a fuse box that can take all these safety issues away, I do it. But that's over as well now. You can't even do that. We have laws within the European Parliament that tells us certain features of the alarm system cannot be switched off. It has to be integrated so it can switch up. Without those, the car won't work. That's the reality we're in now. You don't even get to choose how your vehicle should operate no more. The government chooses for you. So, what can we do about that? Well, not much. You can reject it. That's it. You can't tell your neighbor that it's wrong, but as I always say, be a beacon. If I ever own a car again, I'm gonna buy one from before 2010, and yeah, where I can shut off the alarms, and when the cop pull me over and say there's something wrong, you don't know you're not wearing your seatbelt. I say, oh shit, I forgot, and they say, didn't your car tell you all the way? I'm like, no, because I took the fuse out. It's gonna be okay. What I'm saying is, it has taken this safety thing. People actually think that when your car reminds you to take on your seatbelt, it's about safety. It's not. It's not even proven that the seatbelt saves lives. Volvo did that back in the day, and guess who invented the seatbelt? Volvo. So I don't know. Maybe it does save life, but it's everything. It's also the way the vehicle come apart these days and stuff like that. Safety is just a big part of our everyday life. When I work, I have to wear bright orange. I have to wear a helmet, which I never do, but I have to, and when you are driving outside, bicycles in Denmark all wear reflective vests and a helmet. Everybody bought into this shit, and it's amazing how we can put that much in the feature of safety. I basically think that the normal Danish citizen use 1 or 2 hours every day purely on safety. I mean, how crazy is that? And yet, listen, here's an example. On my work, you have to wear a helmet. You have to wear what we call grade 3 clothes, You know, it has to be all the way to the angles. It have to be reflective. It has to be visible, and thus we have to make a a walkway purely for workers, and a lot of other stuff. You know, it's crazy. The first month or two when you're on a site is all about building safety. You know, and when you get to a new site, you have to have a course on 3 days on how the safety works and shit. It's crazy. But when you've gone through all that and everybody is safe, then you can walk around on a building site looking at your phone. Now that's allowed. I mean, what the fuck is the sense in that? Tell me, please. I don't get it, you know. And when I see it, I honk my horn. I drive around in a big thing, either excavator or a digging, or what do you call it? Not a dozer, but a four-wheeler with a shovel in the front, you know. And I'm honking my horn. Every time I pass somebody with the phone, I'm honking my horn, and they all think I'm an idiot, you know. But I'm not gonna drive into this dude because he's basically stupid as fuck. You know, it's not gonna be on my conscience. He's the idiot, but yet they don't see it. You know, it's perfectly sociable, acceptable to walk around with your phone in your hand, or the dog and bone, some Buzz and I call it, the dog with a bone. And it really looks like it, you know. Try to take the phone from somebody, and they're like, oh, give me back my personality. It's crazy. It is really, really crazy how people react with their phone, you know. And sometimes I do stupid shit with my phone. That's why I got cracks, you know. The other day, my apprentice was walking around on the phone. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, get that shit in your pocket, you know. You're gonna do what I say because you're my apprentice. You know, yeah, but I forgot and I had to and stuff. I said, no, you don't. You can throw it over there. You know, he said, I'm not gonna throw my phone because he was in a hole. You know, I'm not gonna throw my phone. I'm gonna put it in the pocket. So why don't I threw mine? I threw mine 10 yards that way, and just to show him how it should be. And now everybody went away again. I love it. So I can drink my coffee. So who's left? Buzz or Annette? No, we're still three people. That's kind of my message for today. Just be aware of what you use it for. You don't have to throw it away. It's useful for good stuff. Okay. Good job, Annette. Well, don't text me if you're driving, and don't text the chat either. Drive your car. That's what we're talking about. Don't worry, I'll understand. Just be aware of the usage. Try to use it as little as possible. Don't use it just to use it. Try to do things without it, whatever it is, you know. And if it's not possible or you're in a hurry, use it, you know. But it's a reversal process. We got here over 10, 20 years, you know, and you're not going to reverse that in a night. So be patient, you know. Bad habits takes time. I usually say that you need to spend half the time that it took for you to create this bad habit to get rid of it. So if you've used your phone for 20 years, it's going to take you 10 years to get rid of it by standard. But I think we can do it faster than that. And it's all about awareness. I think every time you put your hand in your pocket, you have a clear reason to, you know, not to check your messages, not to see if anybody called you, you know. That's it right there, you know. When you know there's something you should do on it, then you pick it up. And then you see, oh shit, I got messages. But never use it unless there's a clear-cut reason for it. I bet you that all the people you know, if it was really important, they would call you. You know, you will hear it. There's no need to check the messages at that time. You can do that later. And yes, there will be a part of your surroundings that think you're an idiot because you didn't answer back on the message they sent you. You know what? They'll understand eventually. Everybody that knows me knows by now that I not always answer back right away. Some people learned the hard way, some people understood right away. But if I don't feel like answering right now, I do it later. That's just how I operate. And if I piss you off, it's just too bad. Really. Because it's all about my mail. You can do whatever you want with your phone, but don't expect when you're using your phone to me that I have to use mine the same way as you do. You know, that's not fair. So, yeah, that's about it for me today. I ramble around 30 minutes. And if nobody jumps up, I'm going to go to sleep because my weekend sucked big time. Except that we made a great piece of music. My weekend was not very pleasant. So, you know what? Then I'm going to wrap it up with some wording, I guess. I am going to the European Championship in January, and that's going to be the last time that I use my phone. My smartphone, that is. My smartphone. That's going to be the last time I use the smartphone. The moment I leave Portugal on the 21st of January 2026, I am off the smartphone for good. There, I put it out in the ether, and it will be so. It's really that easy. And now I will spend the time from now to January just to take it bit by bit, you know. Normally I say it's the 12-week rule. Guess what? That's 12 weeks to mid-January. So it's perfect. I'm going to take it away out of my life bit by bit. And yeah, I'm getting rid of that shit. And that's kind of what you need to do. You need to put it out there. It's so easy to promise yourself something and not keep it. But the moment you promise everybody, it's much easier to keep, you know? And, but it's as bad to break a promise to yourself as it is to break promise to everybody else. Because the moment you break your own promises, you're kind of letting yourself down, you know? And it's the worst kind you can get. Now I have to put it over here because now it's beeping and annoying. So there it is. It feels good. I just made the decision. I made the decision I wanted to get rid of it a long time ago, but now I put a date on it, and it feels pretty good, you know. And it's gonna happen. I know why. Because I always keep my own promises to myself. I don't always keep the promises to you guys, but it's because the shit I promise myself is more important than what I promise anybody else. You know, so that's pretty selfish, yeah. But that's just how I operate. If you can't be true to yourself, you can't be you to anybody else. You can't be true to anybody. You know, that's just the thing. And if you're telling yourself lies, you're going to repeat the lies to your friends and your families. So stop lying to yourself. Realize that it's a problem, and not only the smartphone. Everything that makes you comfortable in everyday life is a problem to you. So, yeah, that's about it. Good to see you, Jake. I'm about to wrap it up. I don't have much to say today. Except that I know for a fact that everybody got some problem with some tech somewhere at some point. And I want to create awareness of that. I want to be the idiot that tells you that it's stupid. You know? I haven't owned a car for a long time for the same reason, because I think owning a car these days is just too damn much playing into the system. And yeah, I'm not going to be a part of that. On the other hand, sitting in the train every day, I have to deal with all the people who are very much hooked up to their phones and shit, and having some stupid ass conversation in the middle of the train. So it's a two-edged sword, but I pick my battles. And right now, I'm doing the train, and when it gets too much, I bring my headphones. Yeah. So that's it. Just do a little better, you know. Find something you use your phone to that you deep inside know you don't have to. You don't have to. And you can calculate shit in your head, you know. You don't need a calculator. You can remember shit. You don't have to write it down on your phone. You don't have to put it in a calendar if you can remember shit. But it's going to be reversible progress, because if you used your calendars, you read everything down and have dates, and you look in this every day to see what you need to do today, then that side of your brain have been shut down for a long time. It's not going to come back tomorrow, but it's like a muscle. It can be trained back up. So start focusing on it, you know. And if not progress, just stagnate. Just don't let it get any worse than it already is. If you're fine by what it is now, just keep that. Don't make it worse. So, yeah, it's kind of my message for today. Yeah. I'm sorry to say, but it's kind of the same thing. It's just a collection, you know. It's good enough not to use your phone for that. That's smart. You know, it's better than using your phone, but you're still laying your cognitive, a side of your cognitive brain in the hands of an outside source. So what I want is to people to get that ability back that they lose in this process. You know, I want you to be able to find your way. You know, even though I have a smartphone, there is nobody except my kids in my contacts. Nobody. I want to show you my my phone incoming. Oh, you can't see shit. You see that? This is the last people that called me, and there's no names, only numbers. Could you see that? I don't know. But there's only numbers. I remember everybody by the number. When the number pops up, I know who it is. That's the thing. That's the thing I had from the very first day that I got the phone. I knew that it would be bad, so I deliberately never put people in my contacts, you know, because then I knew I would just press the name every time. I would say, call boss, call somebody, you know. So instead, this way, I know the phone number. If I lose my phone, I can still go to another phone and call this person. Isn't that crazy? Because I know his phone number. And many people have lost that. You know, they know the nearest around them. I can remember phone numbers for the last 10 companies I've been to, all the guys, you know, even people I haven't seen for years or heard from for years. When the number pops up, I know exactly who it is, you know, and it's a good way to train it. It's a good way to exercise it. Small things like that. If you're very addicted to your phone, the best quick solution you can get is most phones have a setting in it that allows you to turn the screen into black and white. So if you're deeply into your phone, that's the first thing you do. Go to the settings and change your screen into a black and white screen. That will take 30% of the addiction from the phone away immediately within 24 hours. It's the best quick hack there is. So check if your phone has a black and white setting knob and just switch that shit off. When you've done that for maybe a couple of weeks or so, and you start to use it a little less, see what's app you basically are not using and you don't need, and just weed them out one by one. I weeded out mine. This is what I'm left with. This is all the apps that's on my phone. And it covers everything. When I use my Google Map, that one, when I use my Google Map, it's only if it's a place I don't know where it is. And when I use it, I open it and I find the nearest point that I know by mind. And I connect, okay, I have to go to there, and then I can go like this and this and this. And then I'm there. I make the route. So I have a reference point. I go there and I try to remember the last bit. But if I can't, I have to look at it again. But I don't ever make it to show me it, the little blue line, you know, so I know which way to go. I never let that come in there, you know. So I see, okay, I'm here. I have to take a left and a right, and I have to go 2 blocks, and then I left. Then I'm there, and I do that every time I'm go to a new spot that I don't know. Find the nearest reference point that you can find by mind, and just go there. That's a start. Now you're not following that little blue line that tells you to go left, and in 800 yards you have to go up the ramp. You know, I've seen people being told that in 200 yards you have to take a right, and they're still confused when to take the right. I mean, what the fuck? They're like, is it this one? Am I supposed to turn here? Um, I have a friend. He's been at my place for many times. He picked me up, and he still don't know where it is unless I tell him the address so he can plug it into Google Maps. He can't find me. He can't remember. Even when he's close, he can't remember the last 3 turns he need to make. And that's the danger. You know? Use it sensible. Start turning shit off in your phone, just one by one. And as I said, if you're deeply into it, just turn it into black and white. When you are comfortable and aware that you won't use your phone, take the worst apps out. Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is. What is it these days? Instagram, Twitter, no, X. All those, take those out. You don't need them on your way. It's not important. You can do it. I'm not saying don't use those platforms. I'm saying you can do that shit when you come home. It's not important to do when you're on the road, unless you're traveling to the other end of the country, So, yeah, there it is. My message for today: plan to use your phone just a little less than you're used to. Be aware about it. Think about it is normally enough. Just being aware makes you use your phone less. When you don't see it as a problem, you're going to use it a lot. So I thank you all for listening to my bullcrap today. I hope I didn't discourage too many. And I'm gonna flip it out with the Buzzes and I new song, which of course is called Weponized Tech. I see you all on the flip side. Peace.
I see you in the darkness, sadly weeping all alone. But you won't turn off this madness, staring blankly at your phone. It is your worst addiction, something that you freely choose, that causes your inaction, leading down a path of blues. You freak, you panic, you'd end up manic without your dog and bone. You couldn't last a single day without your mobile phone. Your eyes are getting strained, your patience wearing thin. So much to understand, but you don't know where to begin. So many different rabbit holes, all just a click away. You wanna quit, but you're back at it each and every day. You freak, you panic, you'd end up manic without your dog and bone. You couldn't last a single day without your mobile phone. You panic, you'd end up manic without your dog and bone. You couldn't last a single day without your mobile phone. You cannot fight your feelings, you wanna see the proof, but you were being blindsided by distractions, not the truth. And all the while the little tool is causing you real harm. You can't detach and there's no patch. It'd be like losing an arm. You freak, you panic, you'd end up manic without your dog and bone. You couldn't last a single day without your mobile phone. And even though you'll miss it badly, you may have to decide to not let this weapon slowly kill you. Choose love and gain some self-pride. And even though you'll miss it badly, you may have to decide to not let this weapon slowly kill you. Choose love and gain some self-pride.